let's talk about the other cornerback on the team, Emmanuel Moseley. Everyone's talking about the offense this year. He's really down the list of people getting notoriety, but it seems like he's performing way above expectations.
Yes. I mean, the two people that you never hear anything about on this football team right now, Emmanuel Moseley and Laken Tomlinson. The only time that you hear about Laken Tomlinson is with those two ticky-tack flags that he just got in this game. But nobody's trying Emmanuel Moseley. And he had one penalty in the Colts game. But other than that, when you consider an undrafted free agent, a guy who has to step into that number one role right now, and we talked about all offseason, our biggest fear is, goodness gracious, if Jason Verrett goes down, Emmanuel Moseley's a fine two. I don't know if he can be a one, right? Like, he's not shadowing guys, though. Like that's just never been the 49ers' MO. But he's been great, and nobody's talking about it. And I think that is such a lift to this secondary, because Jimmy Ward's going to be solid. Kwaski's going to be solid when he's out there. But Emmanuel Moseley has been great.
Equally solid.
Right? But nobody's saying anything about him.
I mean, he's just as good at his – I mean, like, he's right there with Tart, I would say. I mean, those guys are both, I would say, like, B players of their position. Yeah. I'm not to be – I mean, I would say B.
Yeah. No, and there's nothing wrong with that.
He's good. That's well above average. You're saying not quite ball.
It's a few things, right? Like, interceptions have to happen when people throw at you. You can't get interceptions when they don't throw at you, and they're not throwing at Moseley, right?
Let me give you some numbers real quick for Moseley.
He's got 4, like he should have interceptions. I should take that back.
Now, this is according to Pro Football Reference.
Okay.
All these places have different numbers, but according to Pro Football Reference, he's given up 29 catches and 51 targets. That's 56.9%. That's nice. 0 touchdowns, and a 74 rating. It's nice. That's kind of actually like really good numbers. That's surprising. That's like Pro Bowl numbers. Wow.
That's solid. And he's dropped some interceptions. He has. Let me walk that back. He has dropped some interceptions. That's fine. But at the same time, where would this secondary be? Because then you would have two cornerbacks that you can pick and choose. Like, look, Jefferson and Thielen just came in here, and obviously Thielen scored 2 touchdowns. One was, Jimmy Ward was just out of position just a little bit. And then that second one was, Hufanga was just a little bit shading to the right. And actually, Thielen's route was actually going towards that pylon. But he has that rapport with Kirk Cousins where he cut it back up the field and Kirk saw him. And you know what? That's a lesson that Hufanga will learn. But other than that, man, Moseley's been great. And I don't think that anybody's really talking about it, because that's really what I noticed is people aren't picking on him in the way that we feared in the offseason.
Didn't he have like one bad game? He had one bad game.
The Colts game, he had a pass interference in the end zone, I believe, that like was just a 1 year. Like, that was it. That was it.
He had one bad game. He's been pretty much locked down all year. He doesn't have the pick, so he's not getting notoriety, but hell of a player. He should be the starter next year. And probably, I mean, until further notice, he's good.
And when we give
Brock. Remember Shemaine Brock?
Yeah, I do. But when we give people crap, when we give the 49ers crap for missing on draft picks and everything, we have to give them credit when they find undrafted free agents that are key contributors, not just guys on the team that are nice stories. Like, he's a starter. Same thing with
what the Niners need to do, in my opinion, is like not take these guys for granted. When these guys don't just be like, well, I can get the next one. Like, probably Kendrick Bourne should be on the 49ers right now, in retrospect. Yeah. That was a guy you developed, and now he's killing it for the Patriots. Also, I mean, I'm just going to throw out Trey Brown. I mean, he was pretty good. Although let the Raiders gave him all that money. That was a mistake. But that, like Azeez Al-Shaair, he should not go anywhere else. You should re-sign him. That's your guy.
He's restricted, so they'll make it happen. But yeah.
Also, Ross Dwelly. I'm just kidding. You don't even use him.
Where is Ross Dwelly?
I don't know.
I saw in our little Jimmy Garoppolo thing. I'm gonna show you another tight end who actually caught a pass in this game that was not Ross Dwelly, who's supposed to be a blocker apparently.